Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Rollin Dice Show podcast. I, as ever, am joined by two wonderful gentlemen. To the left, I have Mr. Thomas Ryan. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Andy Jones.
Thank you for being on another episode.
Thank you for having me.
Can't get rid of him.
Yeah. Been living here weeks. And to my right, as you've just heard, Mr. Richard Smith. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
We, today, this episode, I'm going to talk about 3 games we've played lately. And I think all 3 are cracking, actually. We've done quite well. Tom's not played 2 of them, so he'll be asking...
Yeah, exactly. Which are my 2 favourites.
He'll be asking the questions you'll probably answer, that you'd ask, sorry.
And probably answer.
And answer better than us. Richard, which game would you like to talk about first?
Let's exclude Tom and talk about Raptor.
Raptor. Sorry, Tom. See you later.
So, about dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yes.
It is about dinosaurs.
Nice.
Okay.
Can you
I
guess?
was kind of hoping it was going to be about ships, actually.
Can you guess what type of dinosaurs?
It's not a Battlestar.
It's not a... No, that's...
I'm going to go with... Are you the Raptors?
So one of you is.
One of you is the Raptors.
Yeah. So
Is it like Mama Raptor and Baby Raptors?
it's exactly like that. It's as though he's heard stuff about the game in
What
the
a
past.
guess.
This does sound familiar now that I've explained it to myself.
Yep.
It's
Amazing.
all ringing bells.
Richard, you've
So,
played it
how does it play?
a little bit more than me, so do you want to...
Yeah, sure. Raptor is an asynchronous 2-player game where one player takes control of a mother raptor and her babies, and another player takes control of a team of scientists. The scientists are trying to capture the baby raptors or put the mama to sleep, and the mama is trying to... Well, the raptor player is trying to get the baby raptors to escape or kill all the scientists by eating them with a big old mama. So this is played on a gridded board which has some obstacles in, and that's kind of randomly generated each time. Scientists start in the edges of the board, and the raptors start with one piece on each of the bigger squares. And the actual gameplay is really, really freaking smart, really tense, really fun, and it's just from a set of numbered cards. So each player has a deck of cards numbered 1 through 9, which you randomly draw 3 of each or draw up to 3 each time. And those cards, like I say, numbered 1 through 9, and also have abilities on. And when you reveal a card, the player that gets the lower revealed card gets to do their ability that's on it. And the player with the higher revealed card gets to do a number of actions equal to the difference between the 2 cards. So let's say Andy flips over a 3 and I flip over a 6. Andy will get to do whatever is on the 3, and I will get 3 actions. Those actions being things like putting a baby to sleep, moving, eating a scientist, all sorts of things. So... Getting the abilities is really important, but getting a large amount of action points can win you the game. But yeah, it's really cool because it means that each reveal is like super tense. You never really know what you're doing. Like even if you swing out with a 9, like on abilities, which potentially is great, if somebody puts down an 8, you've both wasted those high cards. And the higher value cards tend to have better abilities on them because obviously there's less likelihood of you being able to pull those off. So it's really good. It's really, really smart.
It's quite a quick game as well, isn't it? It lasts about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
20.
I think it says half an hour on the box. If you really took your time over the decisions, it might take half an hour, but generally it's over in about 15-20 minutes, which is good because because it is so tactical and so competitive between the two sides. You want to go again or swap sides, or how about if we just change the board a bit? So it's pretty good. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I like it. It's quite deep for what it is, and it's quite a nice little system with the numbered cards.
Yeah, and for what is essentially an abstract game, the theme works really, really well. Like all of the abilities feel like things. The only thing I don't like is the fact that scientists can jump in a jeep and move quickly. at any point, which is a
Yeah,
bit
it kind
weird.
of loses the theme there. Like, why would you then next turn not be in a Jeep?
Yeah, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Not the fact that
What's
sci-
the other option? Like, put on running shoes? Like, that's not. Yeah.
Not the fact that scientists are in a time where there's raptors.
have you
No,
not
just
seen?
the fact
Have
they
you not seen the documentary Jurassic Park?
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them because there's Jurassic Park, there's a big disaster,
Yeah.
and then there was
They thought we could
Jurassic-
do this better.
yeah, then there was Jurassic The Lost Park, The
Yep.
Lost World, and then Jurassic Park 3,
Yep.
and then more recently Jurassic World.
You'd think they'd learn from the previous
Yeah.
mistakes.
But
You know, chaos theory and all that. You know,
you have to watch. It's a really interesting documentary.
yeah, it's crazy what people can do.
They go into why they keep trying to do it a little bit,
Do they?
but not until the last one,
Classic.
and then they skip over some
Bits.
some questions that I had. But you know,
Keep trying to play God.
What any other questions, Tom, about raptors? Raptor or raptors?
Raptor.
Raptor.
Raptor. Any questions?
what happens if you pull the same number card?
Nothing happens.
Okay.
So it's just
So nothing happens at all.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Just go straight to the next
So if you
card.
both pull 9,
Then you both wasted your 9.
What's interesting is two things, really. One, me and Richard, I think, pulled the same card 4 turns in a row,
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Oh, man.
which was hilarious.
It just kept going.
And the other thing is that it's not a simple case of just when you run out of your deck, you shuffle it back in. There's only one card, the number 1, that allows you to shuffle your discard pile back in. So, like, if you waste that, then you're just screwed.
And obviously, if you leave that till last, your opponent knows exactly what you're going to play.
so they then
Yeah,
being
so
the highest one,
they
and
get.
then you can
So,
chip
I
away.
mean, that's one of the kind of what could be argued as a problem with it is that there's a potential for huge swings, and it's actually it's hard to come back from a bad turn.
Yeah.
So if you get those card matchups, if you just mess it right up, then you're stuffed. But that's kind of also the whole game. So, of course, if you mess that up, you're going to have to
And
suffer
it's
for
just
it.
a short game, so
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
It's over before you can get cross about it. So
Also, as soon as you're editing this, can you quickly just go back and edit me just after you say you matched up 4 times? So we're like, oh, not so asynchronous after all, or something to that effect. Like better.
That would
but-
be good.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do it. Hopefully, it flows well, and I remember to edit this bit out afterwards.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
I don't mind because by the time this gets around, people will laugh.
People,
And then I've got you.
people. I don't want people to see behind the curtain, though. Do you not think it's
I don't mind.
okay?
I think Tom showed enough behind his curtain.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I don't like it.
There's not much left there now. Should we move on?
I think
Raptor's a fun little game, but it's difficult to talk about for too long.
it's because it is so. It's a really slick little package. So we've explained it. What more do you want?
But before we do move on, though, Richard, 1-word answer. And I'm going to be strict on this. A 1-word answer. Is Raptor better than Love Letter? 1 word.
Different.
Smoothly played.
You can't answer that. What kind of a question is that? What moron would answer that question?
Andy
Is
Jones.
Raptor better
Andy
than
Jones.
You just
Andy Jones.
You just answered that question.
One word.
Andy Jones
Is Raptor better than Love Letter?
So we're ignoring words and just making sounds now. Perfect.
Wasting his word.
Great radio.
Awesome. Let's move on. Let's include Tom. Tom, have you played any games we've played?
Yeah, Mysterium.
Yes. Awesome hand.
That's great, Tom. Why don't you tell us about it?
Cool. It's about like a really mysterious world.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it's actually about a mystery set in the world of That's why it's Mystery
Okay. Yep.
But then it kind of got abbreviated because it wasn't really on the box. So
Yeah.
Mysterium.
Yep.
I don't know if Daniela's going to break and just start shouting.
just emerge on the podcast. As you can probably guess, Daniela hates it.
Yep, I think that's what she said before we start recording.
Yeah. That's pretty much sums up the game.
Cool.
If you want to develop more on
Should
that
I
and
fill
kind
in
of
some
explain it
gaps?
for people that may have missed it.
Okay, cool. I mean, that was a beautiful explanation of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I would just add to that by saying a couple of very small things, such as like Mysterium is a wonderful blend of Dixit and Cluedo.
I mean, that's...
what
I'm
you
fairly certain if you go back... just gonna... Mysterium is a wonderful blend, you might even say, of Dixit and Cluedo. Cluedo, yeah, that's it. Those two things.
Outrageous.
That's Clue for our American listeners.
Absolutely outrageous. So basically...
And who, what done it was people from the old folk, from the old lands.
What bloody well done it. That wasn't British.
Yeah.
It's moving swiftly on.
Amazing how you can do a bad British accent.
So Mysterium takes place in a world where there have been multiple murders in a... Is it in a house?
Yep.
Cool. I've got this down.
Chariot House on Hill.
No, not that game.
Played this.
In Mysterium... Let's stay on track for a second, Tom. In Mysterium, one person plays as the Ghost Master.
As a ghost.
As a ghost.
There we go. Yep.
As a ghost.
Am I the only person that's played this?
No, I've played it. We played it once.
Betrayal House on Hill.
Okay.
Stop saying Betrayal House on Hill.
Definitely that game.
Just stop saying that because we're describing Mysterium.
I mean,
Mysterium, Tom.
multiple murders.
It's a beautiful blend.
It's in a house.
Of Cluedo. And so there are several murders that happen, and only the ghost knows exactly what happens. And there's three things. There's the person who... it was the murderer, the murder weapon, and then the room. And basically, the ghost is playing a game of Dixit, of trying to tell each person parts of all the murders. Mm-hmm. So that eventually each other player should be able to say how their murder happened. As in, it was this murderer with this item in this room. So each individual player has their own murder to solve. One of those murders is the murder that got the ghost. And then at the end, everyone's got to guess which murder that is. And you get more clues depending on how quickly you solved your original murder.
Okay.
I think that explains Mysterium, but Rich is looking thoughtful, so I'm going to offer him
Play
the...
different games.
So you get more clues based on how well you've... every round when you decide which... There's three stages. First of all, you're finding out the murderer, then the room, and then the weapon. I think it's that order. And every time you say, I think the ghost is telling me it's this one, everybody else has chits that they can put down to agree or disagree with you. And based on whether or not they are correct, they gain more points, which is what contributes to how many clues at the end that they can see. So let's say they get 7 points, that unlocks the ability to see 3 cards. So whereas, let's say I didn't get any points, I would only see 1 card. So the ghost would show me 1, and then I would have to make my decision, then reveal another 2 to the other players.
So the way the ghost has their own hand of cards, and they're very limited. They don't have all the cards. So basically, they're just trying to give very vague clues as best they can. And like I said, I've only played it once. I actually don't think I liked it as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
It was enjoyable. I think I'd hyped it from our time at Essen, where just everybody was saying it was the best game ever.
See,
that is the only reason I'm aware of it, is just, because everyone was talking about it.
You see, I really don't like Dixit, so I went into this expecting not to enjoy it at all, and I thought it was really good.
Real good.
Yeah.
RDS review. Yeah, I think I'd like to try it as the ghost, for sure.
Who did play the ghost?
A friend of ours called Caspian.
I played a second game and I cannot remember the lovely Amy, I want to say, maybe.
She won't listen.
I don't know, I did shout RollinDiceShow.com at a lot of times.
You did that a lot of the time you would play board games with women.
Yeah.
Did you shout no G? Because
we bought the domain that has the G just in case we have to talk to people that we actually like.
Yeah.
Fun story. I did make the no G joke to my colleagues the other day, and it got the response you probably expect.
Yeah.
But groans.
Yeah.
Even within us, it gets groans. That's why we did it initially. It was just to annoy Dancito.
That's what the G stands for.
Annoy Dancito. So it was an interesting game. It was. I quite like the voting on other people's guesses. I think that keeps it quite nice. Without that, it would feel a bit solitaire-esque.
It feels like
I don't know.
It feels like it's kind of dragged out. So the ghost gives one clue to each player.
Yeah, in a round.
Which
there's only 7 rounds,
so it just basically goes like you, then you, then you.
Yeah,
rather than giving one clue to all 3 players at once, for instance.
So because you have to work out which murder you'll solve. Like everybody has their own murder to solve.
Yeah.
And then you have to decide which of those is the murder that killed the ghost.
Yeah.
So the ghost might be trying to tell me that it was the priest-looking guy that did the murder that I'm solving, but might be telling Andy that it's the lady in the red hat that did the murder.
Well, that's why I thought they gave out separate clues at the same time, and then you had
the ghost gives out a card that's faced open to everybody,
but it gives you directly to the person.
Yeah, I know. That's
What's interesting is 2 things. One, we didn't mention, the ghost cannot communicate with you apart from passing you a card and knocking once or twice to tell you if you're right or wrong with your guess.
Oh, that's cool.
And 2, the cards are really abstract, so even though
they're like the cards in Dixit.
Yeah.
Even though it might be like you just need one card with red on it to show that it's the one with the red hat, you just might not have that card.
Yeah.
And even if you do, that thing might have a pen on it, and then you're like,
exactly.
that card has a pen on as well. Must be this one.
Yeah.
So it much the same way as Dixit, but my problem with Dixit is that once you play with the same people, you kind of solve it.
Yeah, because
in a way, whereas
you have your formula for
you know the people. Whereas because the ghost has a limited supply of cards, they have to work with what they've got a lot more and make those things line up. Whereas hopefully you'll get it and hopefully you won't, and maybe you won't. Sorry.
Yeah, in a similar way to the horror of giving clues in code names.
Yeah.
Is they could just entirely misread your clue.
Exactly.
Which is sometimes the most fun thing that can happen in the game.
There's a lot of maybe he thinks of this.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
It's good times.
But yeah, the ghost has quite a cool thing because he's got like a he or she is sat behind a game master's board.
Also, he did. I was going to say, does it then suffer from the same thing Codenames does of not having a shield, so you can kind of read their face when they're gurning because you're so close to being right, and then
so he's got a game master shield with sleeves in, that when they do the initial setup they put everything so it's all really clear for them.
That sounds really good.
Much in the same way as in Cluedo at the start of the game, you randomly shuffle it and put something in a opaque sleeve. Yeah. This is a visible one for the ghost.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Not sure I love it, but it is neat.
Yeah, I would play it again, but I wouldn't rush out to buy it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's move on to our third game then. Let's get Tommy Ryan,
T Rizzle,
right in this conversation. Let's talk about Tom. What are we going to talk about?
I haven't played it.
You are
Dogs of War.
Incredulous.
Dogs of War. Yeah, all said it. Tom,
do you want to describe the game? Can we go with that?
Sure, why not?
You did so well with Mysterium.
Yeah. So you're all separate packs of dogs.
And there's a single bone that you really, really want.
Yeah, it's not war as in WAR, it's war as in war.
Yeah.
Like, wow, look at that bone.
Look at that big old juicy bone.
Yeah.
I want it. You can't have it because I want it.
It's a good thing you're the one editing this podcast, or else things could happen with what you just said. Right, yeah, so worker placement, you're kind of all mercenaries. And you get captains, then you have to draft soldiers into your army. There are 6 different family clans
Houses?
that are all kind of houses. That's what it's called. They're all battling each other over 4 separate years, which function as rounds, and it's always 1 against 1. So there's 3 different battles that are happening at any given time.
And they're randomised.
Yeah, completely randomised. So you're kind of dividing your allegiance in a similar manner to Blood Bowl Team Manager. So you're placing down generals on either side of the battle, and then obviously that means you've sided on that side. So unless you have a specific ability or card, you can't go on the other side. So you place a general, and then that gives you a given reward depending on the tile you place it on. But you also then have to place a soldier card, which determines the strength of your kind of the pledge of your army to that particular house, which then alters the score tracker.
Does it swing the tides of war?
You could say that. You could say those exact words.
Thank you.
That's good because that's what Andy just said.
Yeah. And then at the end of the year, so end of the round, you kind of see what house has done better. They go up on the score tracker. So you also collect over the course of the game. It's weird trying to describe the amount of different
quite
pieces
pernickety is
Yeah.
the word I would use. I'm not sure if it's the real word.
messy. Is
I'm the person that learned the rules for this, and the first rules explanation I did for it was just a nightmare because there's so many different bits going on.
Yeah,
It's actually quite
it's like
straightforward.
when do I bring in which bit? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is actually really simple.
It's
You just have to kind of have to play it once to see.
it's definitely a game that, and you definitely need to play it at least once, just because there's quite a lot of strategy to the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean you get in there with it. It's,
so you have a given amount of money. It goes in 3 stages, I guess. So it's drafting, deployment,
Yeah, I'll do that.
and then the scoring at the end of it.
Results.
Summary. So you have to essentially buy all of your troops, or as many troops as you want, in the drafting phase. Which on your first playthrough is where we all kind of messed up.
spent a
because-
ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, we spent all of our money, and then straight away in that first round used up all of our good troops, and then we had nothing in the second round.
Yeah, there's a long game element to it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can't remember what else.
So ultimately, you're helping each house battle, but it's a long war, and as you play, you'll collect shields, and each one represents a point for each house. However, all houses are not equal, and as they win battles, they'll progress up the house tracker. And at the end of the game, when you're counting victory points, your amount of shields will be times by the position on the house tracker. So if you've got 4 of House Talbot, but Talbot are at -1, that will be -4 victory points for you. Whereas if it's on 4, then you'll get 16 victory points, and that will push you probably into the lead. I think that's generally. Tom, would you say it's a wonderful combination of Dixit and Cluedo?
I wouldn't. That sounds like a terrible thing to say.
That is good, because it's not. But I think we've played it a few times now. We laughed a lot this evening when
I'd
we
say it's an
played it.
adequate combination of Blood Bowl Team Manager and Game of Thrones.
Where are you getting Game of Thrones from?
I think
The various houses battling.
Okay,
I don't mean the Game of Thrones game.
you mean the narrative?
I think
Right.
the
I mean the
power
theme.
dynamic
Right.
Yeah.
is what you're going with there.
Yeah, I mean, we played twice with 4 players, and then today we played with 5 players.
Yeah.
And
5 is so hectic.
But
it's nice.
It's so much more enjoyable with 5 players
Yeah.
because, unlike with a lot of worker placement games, you don't get a reduced number of workers in the 5-player game. So it just meant that you're on top of each other right from the start, and you are messing people over, intentional or not, because there's only a certain number of good spaces on the like in any worker placement game. There's always stuff that you want, and if somebody else gets that, then you just have to deal with it.
And it's quite interesting because the tiles for the rewards you get for placing your generals is also randomised. I think there's only 8.
There's 8 and there's 6 on the board at any one round.
So you get to know them relatively well, but there's a lot of blank tiles. So there's a lot where you don't get any reward. So when you are playing 5 players, it is a case of like, I guess I win this just to potentially, like, you've got to hope that you already have a shield for that house that's going to win, so then we'll go up on the house tracker, or else you're not getting anything from that reward.
Yeah, I think in the 4-player game, we didn't really focus on shields all that much.
No, I did on that. On the second game we played, I tried doing it, and it definitely worked to my advantage, but it was very stressful because it meant for the rest of... So for the first 3 years, I was doing terrible, and I didn't have a victory point at all. And then I think in the 4th year I got 1 victory point, but then when we did the scoring at the very end of it, I then almost won.
Yeah.
So I got like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, once you have the 5th player in there, there's a lot more swing in the houses, because instead of just going for the abilities, it's like, okay, let's see what we can actually do. And therefore those tiles are more appealing in the first place.
Yeah. And I think we saw more of because by virtue of there being an extra at least 3 generals, even in the first round, you saw a lot more of the maximum score for the houses. So for the 15. So that meant what that means is if what is it called, crushing defeat?
Yeah.
So when a house wins by 15 points, which is the limit, that goes up by 2 on the tracker, and then the opposing house goes down by 1.
Yeah.
Which we didn't see much of in the 4-player games. We saw it a couple of times, but only by like really 2, sometimes even 3 players all contributing and doing that intentionally. Whereas this one, it just kind of happened by virtue of there being quite a lot down, especially in the last 2 rounds, because we had a lot of war machines, which are like the 7-point soldiers. So
I don't think it happened too many times more in the 5 in the 5th.
happened 3 times
in the 5-player game. I mean, it happened in a couple of times in the 4-player game.
Did it?
There's only one more.
Maybe.
I think it felt like it happened more, but
maybe.
But in actual fact, it might not have done. It's just because we were focusing much more on that element of
the
it.
houses,
So you're more aware of the fact of, oh, okay, that's on 14. I need to do something.
What I love about the game is how each random part of it sort of increases by the next random part. So you look at the map and it's decided on what reward tiles are on the board and what house they're associated to, and then like in round one turn in, like where other people have gone and what battles are likely to win, on top of what the win bonus is, because there is a win bonus for the person who plays the most generals on the winning side. And so you're trying to take that all into consideration. It gets round to just one person before your turn. You've decided on a tile. You're like, this is the one for me. It's the best one. And then the person before you goes on that tile.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, all that tactical thinking that I've just spent the past 5 minutes on, blown to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a group that is prone to analysis paralysis, maybe avoid this, because
you would just be there. Like it could easily be like a 5-hour game if you're just sitting there just being like, oh god, if I go there, then I get 1 victory point now, but I could get potentially, if I can get another guy down there, I could get 4 now, and then
Yeah, and I definitely didn't mean to say that was a bad. Well, I mean,
Oh, no,
5
no, I
hour
like
games
it, yeah.
are horrendous, but just in that all that sort of fluidity. Fluidity a word, gents?
yeah, that is a word.
Perfect. Nailed it. Crushed it.
I don't think it's the right word, but it's a word. It's a word.
You probably get what
Yeah.
I mean. The game is in constant flow, and it's really interesting to try and make sense of that chaos.
Yeah.
It's probably what I would say. And it's beautiful. Sometimes you just play a guy on a troop, like a really low, a footman, like the lowest of the low, just to try and be on the winning side to get that win bonus.
Yeah.
And then what you actually do is cause a chain reaction where that side won't get 15 on the war front now, so the house won't increase by 2, and Richard doesn't win the game.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
that does happen.
Yeah, it happens. It does.
does
doesn't it?
happen, doesn't it, Richard?
Yep.
Or when, like, maybe you don't have any troops, which you can't play a general unless you have a soldier to back it up, which is why you don't waste all your money in the first.
Because you always
round.
have to buy your soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe you've got no soldiers, and maybe you just desperately open that one tactics card, and then everyone else before you goes on all of the tiles that give you soldiers,
Yeah.
and all of the tiles that give you tactics cards.
Oh, that would be grim.
Yeah,
that would be horrible.
I would feel really
You'd
sorry
probably
for a
wanna choose a
person
new
in that
game.
situation unless they'd given away the first player token.
Yeah.
For that round.
That would be the stupidest thing,
Yeah.
Because another interesting thing is
especially if it followed them doing the stupidest finish to the previous round.
Yeah.
That would,
yeah. Definitely.
just a chain of bad decisions.
yeah, just
Another interesting point is the first player gets to give away the first player token if they choose. Can only happen once, but so if you when you pass first, yeah, you'll be first player in the next round. And just having that choice of who to pass it to.
yeah.
Do you want to go last and sort of see where the battlefield lays, or do you want to go first so you can get those troops? It's
I definitely
mucked it up, didn't you?
it did.
I would use a
I tried
stronger
going
word.
halfway around the table because I was like, that makes sense. Doesn't make any sense.
No, you've got to be.
With both bonuses.
Yeah. It's not the best of both worlds. It's
It's
the
the
worst
worst.
of both.
You
Yeah.
literally need to be first or last,
Yeah.
and that's
But-
it.
Oh,
it was
and
fun.
also we've got to mention each of the generals has its own unique ability. So
They do indeed.
you get varying different things. Some of them are there just to kind of screw over other players. Like there's the guy that, whereas you would usually, when you win a battle, you get a victory point for each opposing general.
Yep.
In that battle, there's one player that doesn't. His generals don't count because he retreats, so disappears. So you don't get any victory points. But yeah, that's
Which is
great.
quite a
Great
weak
for
one.
it's great for screwing over other people, but not great for doing anything for yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones all seem to, it's something you gain. Like yeah,
which seems a lot more important because if you're winning the battles, which hopefully you are, then if you're the guy that retreats, you'll never see any benefit of your ability. And even if you are losing, it's like, well, great, but what now?
I'm losing. Yeah, great. So I don't get anything this.
I mean, it means you can be a bit more kind of fast and loose and play a bit more into the ability space, like the spaces, and get those bonuses. But yeah, of the stuff in the box, it certainly seems to be the one we've had the least success with.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I played it, I came last, and when Daniela played it, she came last. So it's a tough one. I mean, there are some nice ones where the lady with the pink hat,
Oh yeah.
which is a fan favourite here, gains you also contributes an extra general when determining who gets the win bonus. And so, if your side wins, you can normally mop up an extra win bonus for yourself.
Yeah.
And they're quite powerful. I mean, at the end of the last round, it's 3 victory points. But before then, the first 3 rounds, it could be two new tactic cards,
Extra soldiers,
extra money.
Yeah.
There's some
And
nice
also,
rewards.
like, if it's a draw, you both get the win bonus.
Yeah,
so
there's no
unless
splitting.
unless the other player has already put down 3, you're gonna get the win bonus by putting down 1. Like,
It's nice.
And in the 5-player game, it's not likely that somebody's put down 3.
yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, and you sort of just got to be, when you play it, you just got to be careful. Rich, would you say you need to be a tactical genius to win 2 games in a row?
No,
Definitely not.
I asked Richard, Tom, so if you wait your turn.
Well, I agree with Tom. Definitely
So
not.
you say, Tom, would you agree you need to be a tactical genius to win 2 games in a row?
I would disagree
Okay.
with you,
Would you...
thus now pointing at Andy, but I would agree with Richard.
Okay, cool. Richard, why do you think that is?
So I think there's enough randomisation in the game that, especially in the 5-player game, you can potentially have no control over a turn. Like, I mean, Tom's example of, everybody took my spots. It was his fault that everybody
Oh yeah,
took
yeah.
his spots.
It was 100% my fault. But also, yeah, like.
But there's enough, like, getting the right tactic card at the right time, getting...
Well, that's what, like. Yeah.
That's what you were fishing for in that instance.
Yeah, exactly.
But getting the right tactic card so that you can skip a turn, so that means you're probably going to have a general left at the end of the round. And some of those tactics cards are incredibly powerful, and some of them are fine.
I got them all at the wrong time, so I got the ones that are really good in the early game, like Raid, which gives you +3, but you ignore
3 points,
3
so
coins,
gold,
sorry,
yeah.
but you ignore whatever tile you're placing on the reward for that tile, which is great in the early rounds because then you just stocking up, and I think I had 5 of those.
Lovely.
But that was in the end of round 3, so I couldn't play any soldiers. So I couldn't actually play that card.
So,
And then all I wanted was a muster, because I had 2 coins, and I was like, okay, I just need to be able to buy a soldier. That'd be nice. But I think I drew 7 tactics card. It was only on my 7th that I got a muster. And it was,
So mustering allows you to purchase a soldier outside of the initial drafting phase, and just the rewards on the tiles where you place your general vary, and there's sort of, you can get more shields for the house it's on, you get new tactic cards, you can get money, you can get soldiers, you can even increase and get another general, and you need a healthy split of all of them. So if you do just go hunting for tactics cards, what you'll find is you're in Tom's position,
yeah,
not very strong at all. But then you sort of had to hunt for it.
solid third.
Solid third.
Third, because it was joint second, so, you know,
Okay.
third.
No, because you'd still be 4th though.
Third day.
That's not how. Ranking works.
There were 3 scores on that board. There was whatever you got. So say
I was
high
50s.
50s.
I was 15 points ahead of Richard and Catherine.
Yeah. So there was
1-5, which doesn't sound like luck to me, but
no, it's because you're not saying your actual number.
oh, so it's 52.
Yeah, so you had
points,
52,
which is quite high. I think
And
the
then-
highest.
and then the next number down
anyone's
was,
ever got.
was
Listeners,
39.
if Andy's audio's gone missing, I'm really sorry, but I'm not sure.
Also, I don't know how he's got the number 15 because your number was 39.
I thought it was 37.
39.
Oh, so just
Yeah.
13. I was 15 points ahead of.
So
you,
the
Tom.
next number down was 13. So I mean,
Okay.
what is that?
Still,
It was 39.
still enough of a divide.
Yeah,
I mean, you could argue.
it's 39. May have appeared twice, but it's still 39. And the next number was 37. That's my number, so that's 3.
And then there
Third
was
place.
Daniela's
Third place.
number at
19?
19. So I got double Daniela's score. Plus some.
More than.
Plus some.
I'm working
Nice.
whether you had. No, you didn't have 3 times, did you?
No, it's a shame.
Well,
Did quite well
is
though.
that because you didn't try?
13 points higher than the next people, which was
Then what was the score on the last game?
somewhat delightful.
Adrian's, I think you find you were 1 point ahead of me.
I was first.
And that was 'cause I was
first
nice.
in the game before that as
And
well.
that was
Yeah.
because I was nice to you.
2 games in a row. 2 games in a row. You don't even have to argue it because it's fact. Absolute fact.
Well, as much as the listeners probably love
I was going to say,
hearing
I mean, we
us
can cut off the last,
arguing
what,
over
15
about
minutes of this podcast?
3 different points, it's a good game.
Yeah.
You should probably
I think
play
that's
it.
the-
If you're worried about the bonuses in the Kickstarter, because this was originally a Kickstarter game, it's probably not worth it. We actually printed off some of the a list of what the Kickstarter hero, like the generals, were. To see if we wanted to play with any of those today. Tom played with one. Shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I didn't use his ability once.
It's really bad.
But yeah, like there's the if you really liked the game, you might have got something out of the Kickstarter stuff, but it's not. It was a good Kickstarter bonuses in that it's kind of completely unnecessary stuff that doesn't really add to the game, other than aesthetically. So I think the game retails for about £30.
Yeah.
And it's well worth £30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays 3 to 5. I don't know if I'd want to play it with 3 people. I think ideally now I would only play it with 5 people.
Yeah.
But that's good because it's not often that you get 5's a funny number with board games. Like it seems to be 4 or party games a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have something that's quite strategic and a worker placement game that plays quite quickly as well because it's done in around an hour. Maybe a bit longer with 5 players. Maybe it's about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half. But still, like the game that we're comparing it to, Blood Bowl Team Manager, you play that with 4 people, it can go on for 2 or 3 hours. So, and that feels a lot slower than this does because you've got so much to think about constantly in this game, and you have to be reactive. The time goes really quite quickly.
Yeah,
Definitely. So, I think that's our podcast, unless either of you have anything to say in this moment, at this time, into your microphone.
I do. I've been playing Game of Thrones on OCTGN. It's real good.
Oh, yeah.
Even though OCTGN's a bit clunky, it's still better than not playing Game of Thrones, the card game.
Yeah? How long did it take you to set up OCTGN?
About 5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
You download it and install the stuff.
Did you have to build the deck?
So I've got my decks built on thronesdb.com.
Yeah.
And you can export a file from that you just drag and drop into the files for OCTGN. And then it brings them in automatically. So if I hadn't done that, then I'd have had to sit down and done them. But I've done that anyway because it's a really nice system to keep track of your decks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd heard a lot of bad things about OCTGN. There's a lot. It is not as good as playing it in real life. There's a lot of little shortcuts and stuff, but it's not a bad implementation. And a lot of the complexity comes from just people expecting you to do shortcuts instead of doing it the long way around.
Yeah.
Which, just go on and say casual game, first time player on OCTGN. But I was quite lucky with the people I was playing with. So. But yeah.
How many games did you play?
2.
Nice.
How many did you win?
2.
Nice.
What?
Got my tasty little Martell Lords of the Crossing deck.
Ugh.
Which is so lovely.
I've not played OCTGN in a while. I think I played like a year, maybe a year and a half ago.
So is it just for deck games? I don't know much about that.
Yeah, it's pretty much every card game you can think of seems to be on there. A lot of all of the Fantasy Flight ones were.
Nice.
But yeah, it was like I say, it's not perfect. If Fantasy Flight came out with an official thing, I'd be saying don't touch OCTGN, but it's there and it works well enough that I would recommend giving it a go, especially just because like for us, we are used to only playing each other. It's good to get some experience against some other people.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's still running.
I'm surprised it's not been shut down.
Yeah,
because
that's what I mean.
I did wonder, like, how does that work in terms of?
I think it's.
You think with them pushing like their tournaments and stuff, like Fantasy Flight.
OCTGN's made by like one guy, maybe 2, so it's really. It's not that. It's not like
it's
he's
a passion project.
Yeah, he's not raking any money from it.
No, like you don't have to pay to play at all.
Right.
You can pay a subscription fee, which is something like $3 a month, which gets you to be able to customize what sleeves the cards are in. Like completely unnecessary aesthetic stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but that helps the guy who created
exactly.
OCTGN.
Yeah,
Sorry, but what I mean is you don't have to spend any money. So, on the basis of that, Fantasy Flight might be okay with it.
Yeah, it might be if he's not.
Also, or maybe not. From Daniela shaking her head, but I would expect that there be a certain amount of. There's a huge scene around the game. Most of the people that are wanting to put the effort in to play it on OCTGN are probably buying all the cards anyway.
Yeah.
So
we certainly are.
It's kind of a necessary. Like, I think most people that are wanting to play on Octagon are going to be competitive enough that they're going to want to go to tournaments.
That's what I wonder if it's a lot, like a high percentage of people just essentially trialing out new decks rather than...
Exactly, yeah. It's a lot easier to just throw something together, and if it doesn't work, then you can just deal with it.
Re-sleeve stuff.
Yeah. Which was kind of what I was doing. Like, I've thrown together some decks that people have been talking about. I just want to see how they go and see what I like. Whereas taking apart the decks that we have is more painful than anything else. Yeah. There's only so many neutral cards. But yeah, it was not as bad. I was expecting a bit of a horror show, and it wasn't. So if you're worried about what's going to give it a go, and if somebody's a dick on there, just block them and move on. And find somebody that was not, because
somewhere out there Richard Smith is on there.
Exactly. I'm on there. RDS Rich.
Will you be playing again?
Yeah, I think so.
Lovely.
Let's need to take it to the next level. Start doing a bit more competitive stuff.
Wow.
Keep playing this game that we've spent money on and haven't played physically since the latest chapter pack came out.
So, play Octagon, play Raptor, Mysterium, Dogs of War. Just keep playing games. I think that's the general message.
I think that's copyright.
No, let's play more games.
That's it. Okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, you said it though. We'll edit it out.
It's all right. We'll wait and won't listen to this.
We will have reviews of Raptor and Dogs of War out in the next few weeks.
Yep.
So please keep an eye out for that. We will hopefully have a special guest on our next podcast if the stars align.
We can make it work.
We organise it. Tom won't be there, but maybe he'll
be there in spirit.
He says with a cheeky wink, because we all know who the special guest star is.
No, we've actually got one. Me. But you keep complaining you can't listen to these because you're on them, so we're trying to.
Yeah, but if you introduce me as special guest star,
you'll get really excited.
Yeah,
definitely listen then.
Probably won't happen, but if people wanted to say hello to you on the Twitters, Tom, where would they go to?
At TRyanArt.
Perfect. And do you tweet a lot?
No.
Perfect. Not. Follow him even further.
I won't bog down your Twitter feed with lots of needless anythings, because just generally don't.
But if you do want needless anythings, Rich, where can they...
They'll probably follow you for that, no?
Ooh.
Yeah.
At RDS Jonesy.
Ooh.
For something a bit more concise.
Scathing.
Me getting super excited about Game of Thrones cards. You can follow me at RDS Rich.
Yeah, scathing with a Z, because it needs to be a Z, right? Or is it an S now? At Jonesy.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's Jonesy with a Z.
Jonesy with a Z. And if you want to see more of our content, you can go to our website, rollindiceshow.com. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, it's at Rollin Dice Show. And if you want to go to YouTube, it's www.youtube.com/user/Rollin Dice Show.
Or just youtube.com/Rollin Dice Show. That works as well.
Awesome. Either or. And as ever, if you are on the YouTubes, a like, a subscribe and a comment would be wonderful to us. Just helps us boost up the rankings. And we are very much anticipating a whole host of iTunes reviews. So if you're listening through iTunes and want to give us some stars, or all of the stars, no pressure.
Yeah, whatever your podcast listening service of choice is, if you're listening on your mobile device right now, just give us a little cheeky 5 out of 5, and maybe say something. Like, just let us know what you like, what you don't like. We want to make this for you, the listeners. So if you like something, we'll do more of it. If you don't like something, we'll try and not do that thing so much.
As ever, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, bye.
Toodles.
Bye-bye.